stolen credentials. We come across this a lot in our dark web analysis. Um, there are numbers. There's so much information out there on the dark web that are results from a phishing campaign where somebody has, given them some sort of credentials, and then all of a sudden now it's being spread across the dark web. So 15% of data breaches in 2013 or 2023 came from compromised credentials, and again, the cost has been averaging over $4 million per breach. In a 2-year period, the number of complete sets of username and passwords have grown by over 9 billion. And that's just growing more every year, more and more every single year. So, how do you minimize the effects of stolen credentials? First, stop phishing threats, right? Go back to number one, lock down your DKIM demarcation, SPF. Make sure you have good end user training, so they're not going to fall victim of phishing campaigns. The next is going to be, I put in here, great endpoint protection. Don't go for the free stuff. Things like CrowdStrike, SentinelOne, those are good. They use machine learning, as well as some level of signature based. Things like McAfee, Symantec. I know there's still a lot of organizations that are using those, but they just really haven't updated with the times, and they're easy to bypass. And once you get a hold of an organization, because they don't have endpoint protection, or worse, they have endpoint protection, they just haven't configured it properly. There's been organizations we'll do an analysis on, and come to find out they have what we would kind of consider a weak endpoint protection. We do a little bit more digging, and then we find out that they've disabled their malware scanning. They've allowed users to have control of enabling or disabling scanning features. So even if they did have the best scanning or best endpoint protection, it wouldn't matter if you allow your users to make decisions like stopping the scanning or disable malware protection. Also, in our dark web analysis, we come across a lot of session tokens. So, limit your session timeouts. Like if you're in your applications, we're able to bypass MFA with a legitimate, a valid session token. We throw that in our browser using JavaScript. We can just add that into as a cookie, and then boom, we're into an application that's exposed on the web without any authentication, MFA prompts, or anything. So MFA is great, but it has to be implemented correctly. So do things like geolocation, if possible, in MFA. So if your MFA, your user is kind of tied into Tennessee, and somebody in India, Russia, China logs in, it should know not to allow that, even if they have a valid session. Like, disable that immediately. Also with MFA, I've noticed there's a number of ways to send the token, right? You can do email, SMS. Those are terrible. If I have access to your credentials and you're sending an email for your MFA tokens, I could probably get that too. SMS, everybody knows it's all clear text. It's not the best way, as well as the push notification. Everybody, you would think that would be somewhat a secure method, because you have to have that push notification on your phone or a device that you have. But as an attacker, I can continue to try to log in over and over and over and over again. And eventually you just get tired of getting that prompt, and you just say, yes, that's me. Maybe it's 3 o'clock in the morning and I'm constantly hitting it, and you just want to go back to sleep. So you click yes. So really the best way is going to be to have just the standard the standard one-time use password that gets reset every minute or two, that the attacker has no ability to get, because they can't contact the user. They're not getting it through email. So, kind of stops it.